I started out going to what was then LDS Business College. I got my paralegal degree at Ensign College, and that was intended to get me into the legal field to see if I really wanted to pursue law, and that financed my undergrad, economics and sociology here at the University of Utah, which I did predominantly in evenings and online, and then here I am in law school. I wish I would have had better study skills and known how to absorb a mass of information and then turn around and spit it back out pretty quickly. I wish I had developed the skill set to study in that way. I think all of us are pretty good at school before we come, and so a lot of it seems intuitive, and I wish I would have just studied down with more difficult subjects beforehand. I am currently serving on the Utah Board of Higher Education as their student rep, and I would love to continue with that. Not necessarily that specific position, but I'd love to continue working in educational policy and legislative advocacy for students in Utah. I'd like to go on and get a PhD in educational policy, and then kind of fuse the legal background with the educational background to be kind of an expert in the field, if that makes any kind of sense. Writing books and model legislation and kind of opining on the best practices for educational systems, public education systems. Well, of course, educational law, but constitutional law is fascinating in the ways that our constitutional rights overlap with educational policy. I've been teaching myself a little bit of state constitutional law over the summer because I find it so valuable in policymaking, and then studying how Utah state constitutional law has influenced policy here in Utah. It's very localized, but it's been an interesting course of study. For mentors, the list goes on and on. I remember especially in first year when I was trying to balance brand new motherhood with law school and whatnot, I relied a lot on Professor Culver. I've relied on Professor Francis, Dean Brown, Dean Burton, of course. Dean Heine's been a wonderful resource. Professor Giora, of course, with our offices next to each other. Our offices in quotation marks. He's been an inspiration. Professor Peterson. I mean, the list goes on and on. There have been just lovely people at every turn. Huntsman Mental Health Institute. I've been working with them, working with the pro bono program, and Director Royer has been fantastic, of course. I'm also part of the Law Review. FBA has been great. Students Helping Students is a wonderful organization to be involved with. And of course, the Women's Lawyers of Utah has been great to work with as well. Just keep working at it. Find something that you really enjoy and it'll kind of come naturally. Your enthusiasm and desire to work for it'll kind of come naturally, but keep working at it until you find something that you really enjoy. S.J. Quinney is an excellent option. I really appreciated their support for me in my circumstance as a new mom and a law student. There have been so many people who have been supportive that way. I also really appreciate the location of the University of Utah, S.J. Quinney College of Law, because it's here in Salt Lake. I mean, I'm 10 minutes away from both the courts and the legislature. Everything that I need is just right here, along with some of the largest firms in the nation. I mean, they've located here in Utah for a reason. And so that's been wonderful as well. I'd also say that if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I have yet to meet anyone who's gone through law school who isn't brimming with advice. You can find someone to answer any question and any kind of support if you just ask. People are more than willing to help out.